Hey guys, how you doing here? Joshua Earp, and I wanted to film a quick video for you to discuss the top networking advice that I can possibly give you, because even if you're doing network marketing, you're doing regular marketing, no matter what you're doing, it all comes down to networking. In fact, your network is your net worth. It's the law of association. Whoever you surround yourself with the most, you will become the most like. And this is a universal law, just so you guys know. This isn't, anything to joke about. This is literally, you become your environment, basically. So, if you take 5 millionaires and you hang around 5 millionaires, or four rather, you'll become the fifth. Same thing with broke people. If you hang out with four broke people and that's all you do all day long, then you're going to be the fifth broke person. It's the law of association. This is a universal law. So, another thing is, it also doesn't only just tie in with finances. It also ties in with health. So if you hang out with, that's why recovering drug addicts, when they get out of rehab, they say don't hang out with your old friends anymore, because they're just going to put you back in that loop. Even when it comes to weight loss, ironically enough, it's just one of those crazy things, because if you hang out with four overweight people or obese people, you'll be the fifth. So it's one of those things to understand, because if you don't, it can really come to bite you. So understand that, you want to start these conversations with open-ended questions. That's one of the main things you guys want to do. You don't want to stick to like small talk or, superficial topics or whatnot. You want to get them talking about their own passions and their own interests. It's called the 90-10 rule. So you have them do 90% of the talking, and then you do 10% of the talking. But when you do your 10% of the talking, you're talking about the 90% that they're talking about. Okay, I think I've got a book around here somewhere. Is it this one? You know what? I'll find it later. But it's called How to Win Friends and Influence People. In fact, I think my wife has it. And it just goes on to explain people love talking about themselves, and so the more you can ask them questions about themselves and show that you're genuinely interested and you genuinely care, it's going to go very far for you. Now, the other thing is, treat networking as a normal conversation. So a lot of people get all nervous, or they get all hyped up and they don't know what to do. You just have to be normal. Treat it like a normal interaction, like you would any other conversation. And the thing is like, you want to leave the impression of being genuine, because people can tell pretty easy whenever they're not genuine. So now the other thing too is when you're networking, a lot of people make this mistake where they'll go to a networking event with some friends and they'll like maybe they'll go and talk to a few people, but they'll just stay within that group of friends. It's almost like they're shy or they're bashful, and that's not going to get you very far. At the end of the day, money exchanges from hand to hand. So unless you have good social skills, unless you have good people skills, then you're not going to be able to make much money. So you want to identify influential people, and you want to, basically talk with them more than you do other people, right? So you want to identify, if you're at an event, who are the speakers of the event? Who are the organizers of the event? Who are the people with the most influence that I can connect to? I don't want to just go to a party and take pictures and then all of a sudden, just stay with my same group of friends that I went there with. It just doesn't make sense, okay? So the other thing is you want to be your authentic self. This is one that a lot of people struggle with. You don't want to become anybody else. You just want to be the best version of yourself, right? You were born an original. You shouldn't want to die a copy. So you want to select your inner circle wisely as well, because it's like the people that you have that closest proximity to. Always remember this, guys: proximity is power. Literally, proximity is power. The more close you are to someone that's successful, due to that law of association, the more successful you will become. So you have to select your inner circle wisely. You have to network with aspirational individuals. Let's see what else. You have to, like ones that can positively influence your career. and personal growth. And you just always want quality over quantity. It's so crucial in building a meaningful network. And keep in mind, the reason we're doing these videos is because the wealthiest people in the entire world are those that build networks of extremely influential people, and then they find ways to service or sell products or provide for that specific network, okay? So the other thing is you want to engage with experienced individuals. So not just people of high influence, but also people with experience. People that have worked on projects you're already trying to work on, or people that, that are just more, what's the word I'm looking for? Experienced professionals. Let's just put it that way. So you want to make sure that you're constantly around the people with the right experience. Because when a person with money meets a person with experience, the person with the experience ends up getting the money. If that makes any sense. So that's why it's so important to become experienced, have highly specialized knowledge, but also at the same time, doing all the things that we covered earlier in the video. So you always want to ask people about themselves, but when you do that, you want to practice active listening. I can't tell you guys how many times I've done something where, the other person wasn't really actively listening, and you can just tell, right? So you want to focus truly on what others have to say, and not just all about yourself, right? So it goes back to that 90-10 rule. But you also want to create a relationship action plan, meaning plan your networking efforts. By listing people you want to connect with, devise strategies for those specific people, and you want to just strengthen the relationships with them and regularly update your plan as you progress. Because, for instance, you don't want to meet, like, one of my friends, for instance, is one of the youngest billionaires in the world, and he started out as a bag boy at I think it was some grocery supermarket. And, with him, like, I'm not just going to text him and be like, oh, hey, how you doing, blah, 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 blah. I mean, I will do a little bit of that, but it's always very focused. It's like, hey, we should go do this, we should do that. He recently told me he's interested in growing his company and his brand. So that's also something to look forward to. And just, asking the right questions. The quality of life we live is determined by the quality of questions we ask. So make sure you create the action plan for your relationships and follow up with new contacts, okay? It's all about new contacts and following up. The fortune is in the follow-up. As I've told you guys multiple times, 7 to 13 times, guys. 7 to 13 times. I know it sounds ridiculous. I know if someone called you 7 to 13 times in a row, you'd be like, hey, please don't ever call me again. But once again, you follow up on different mediums each time, maybe once or twice a week, and you just mix it up, okay? And you have different reasons and you do different things, okay? So that's very important for you to know as well. Now, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. We're going to be covering more in the next video. And thank you guys so much for tuning in. Don't forget to sign up as a brand affiliate for Nu Skin in Augie's Instagram bio. We will talk with you soon. Thanks again.